You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid. Ronnie Boo.
This podcast comes out on a very important day.
It comes out on Juneteenth. We'll get to that in a moment. First of all,
it also comes out the day after Father's Day, but Juneteenth, I think, takes
which is a little ironic because on
precedence.
Juneteenth, do they have them know that they're fathers? Only joking.
There's no fathers.
I'm just saying. So we are honored today.
So actually, it works out because all the people who are celebrating Father's Day get Sunday, and then all the people who are celebrating Juneteenth get Monday. You know, there's no overlap between those holidays.
Oh, so it's okay when I say that. Wow. Okay, so we have today a very special guest who's a very, very close friend of mine. One of not top closest friends I have. My boy Scott. Say hello, Scott.
How are you?
I'm very impressed because he's a fucking introvert, but brilliant. Like almost like an idiot savant a little bit, or like a
That's nice.
spectrum-ish a little
Well,
bit.
no wonder why you guys get along so well then.
Because I'm so normal. This is my wokeism.
Definitely.
But Scott,
Banks is like obsessed with him. Look how weird it is.
so Scott and I met. First of all, Scott, it is great to have you here. It's just
to be
good.
here.
I need a little because Scott is my fucking encyclopedia of facts. He's a bright. So
Dad brought him to
to
go
counter
against-
Bronny. I don't want to go against
If
you. I love
anything,
you.
Scott and I agree on mostly
Correct.
everything.
But when you play devil's advocate, I know you agree with a lot, but you play devil's advocate, and I'm like, you're like, why? I go because, and you're like,
Yeah,
but any
but you
facts?
don't have
'Cause it says
reasons.
What?
You don't have reasons to back
But
up
I know
your things a lot.
I just have a little. I'm a little bit
Slow.
stage fright.
Slow.
Yeah, really? What does that make you then?
Fast.
Sure. Okay. so a little bit of background about Scott, so you guys can get, and then we'll get in some details. So I know Scott for about 21 years, probably.
Yeah. About
So
20,
Scott's a
21 years.
4-3 black belt in martial arts, and I'm a 3rd-degree black belt. Yes, I am flexing, Bronny. So what happened was
Well,
when
if anything, Scott's flex is more than yours.
well, I can just pull his hair though, so that's okay, right, Scotty? So I met Scott. So Scott is originally from Staten Island, whatever, and a very quiet guy. You would, if you look at him and look at me, you would think we would never be good friends. We just
Why?
because he's like from he's tatted up all the fucking thing, and he doesn't give a fuck about how he looks. Well, he used to have a unibrow the whole 9 yards. I mean, I'm more like Metro and no tatted. Is that a good analogy?
I would call it gay looking.
Yeah, right,
but
exactly.
Yes.
Gay.
You had no problem when you sucked my dick the other day, did you?
No,
Now, okay,
no
so
problem.
that just so you know,
But is sucking dick or getting your dick sucked, which is the more gay of the act? I don't
the
know.
guy sucking the dick 100%.
It depends if you need a ride home.
So what I used to do to Scott, I used to do this like, it's okay, Scott. I used to just rub the top of his head and say, it's okay. So Scott, we won't bore everybody's story, but we met through martial arts over 20 plus years ago, became best friends, and I love you, man. You are totally fucking family to me, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. You know that. There's nothing you wouldn't do for me, so I want everybody to know, love this guy. Now,
And all three of us just spent the day shopping.
which is pretty gay.
Spent the day strolling
Okay,
the mall.
And now, well, I had to get a couple of things, but I hate the fucking mall and I hate people. Scott hates the mall, hates people.
But see, you say you hate people. Like Scott and I were saying this. We went into a store, and in the store, you were the man of the store. You were talking.
different story, because I'm the man everywhere I go. Bitches.
But you were like, you saw someone that you knew, and you were like, oh, Kathleen, hey, how are you? Let's chat for
Kathy,
20
but
minutes.
yes, but she's also a friend and a client.
No, I know, but like you say you hate people, but and then the person behind the counter, you're just like chatting them. Oh, I have a podcast you gotta follow. Oh, you have
That's for
painted
you.
nails.
That's for
you're
you.
a bitch.
That's for you, so you can make a living. Don't come to me and say that I need money. But
When have I ever done that ever?
When I see someone I know and I like, of course I like them.
Yeah.
I just hate most people. So if I say hello to you, it's a compliment,
Okay.
right?
Sure, yeah.
That's the truth.
I don't know, John. I think if I saw you in like Nordstrom, I think I'd still turn around because I just don't want to see anybody.
Well, Scott, first of all,
But that's messed up.
stop. You're not going to Nordstrom's, okay?
Yeah, what are you doing in
You're
Nordstrom
going
alone?
to
I use
Dollar
the
Tree. I don't want to
bathroom.
fucking play. You use the bathroom.
I use the
that makes
bathroom,
sense.
yes.
That makes sense. But I wouldn't because I'm a germaphobe.
But you got to go to the nice ones to use the bathroom. You know, you're not doing the bathroom at Macy's.
You 100% would say hello to me because you only have 3 friends. You don't have many friends.
One, just you.
No. I'm family. You don't really have many friends.
No, no.
By
I don't
choice.
have many friends either.
No, that's not true. Stop it, Ronnie.
No, but like I have like 2, 3 like actual close friends,
That's
and then I have like
different
a
story.
peripheral.
That's different. Close friends, I have 3 or 4.
Yeah,
But then I have plenty of friends.
right. I have like 30.
But I like,
Peripheral.
if I like this, okay, there's also a difference. I like seeing people on my terms. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you're very friendly and sociable.
Yes. Much more.
So you say, no, I hate people. People suck. But then you're extremely extroverted. You're
people,
always having I'm the same
that
way.
I like.
People that you like, you befriend every waiter, every service person, every valet guy. You're like always befriending people.
Why not be nice to people? Not be a dick.
No, I know, but
The only ones that think I'm mean are you, the boys, and mom. Everyone else thinks I'm nice.
I think you're very nice.
Oh.
All I'm saying is you say,
I pulled that one out. I love you, brother.
You say, I hate people. People suck. I never want to talk to people. I never want to go out. But then you always are the one that are doing
Hey,
it.
let me be me.
Okay.
All right? I like the people that I say hello to. And I also like pushing people's buttons. Like that guy.
So we were in Sunglass Hut. The guy might be listening because we told him
Shout
about
out.
the podcast.
Nice kid.
Yeah, and he was, I
But he
guess,
had painted
a guy,
nails.
right? Seemed like a
Yeah,
guy.
I
Gay
think
guy.
he might have been gay.
Yeah.
And it's
Although
okay.
we're assuming.
No, he was gay. And if you are, it's okay, bro. It's all right.
Well, it's Pride Month, so he should.
it's okay.
We're all gay this month.
No.
No, we're not. We're 100% not.
But then, are you not an ally? It's Pride Month. You got to be proud of.
I don't support month labels. I don't.
What about Jewish history?
No, I don't support any. I don't. I don't support
Holocaust remembrance?
No, that doesn't even exist. Everyone forgot about it.
No. What is it?
It's a day. It's not a month.
A day, correct.
Okay, so
so you're for days, not months.
No, I don't agree with labels.
Okay.
And by the way, Holocaust awareness is very different than someone's sexuality.
Yes.
Okay, if they
But
had
that they're in a genocide.
okay, stop.
There's an LGBT genocide in this country.
Banks wants to take a chunk out of your face. Oh, pet him. He wants a little love now. There you go. He's like, you know what he's saying? I'll do this, even though I hate you, Scott, just to get close to my dad.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. But so we went shopping at Abercrombie
So
as
wait,
well.
tell the story. Well, wait, tell the. So we were in
So yeah,
Sunglass
this
Hut.
kid probably at 6'2", a little overweight, nice kid.
Yeah,
Listen,
sure. A little
he definitely was a little. He'd be the
chunky, sure.
He'd
be like a bear or something, or a cub that they're called.
Right. So nice kid. Painted nails, but all fucked up. Not even clean manicure.
I mean, clearly a guy, and then also had painted nails.
So I said to him, I go, you got to stop it. And if you're going to have paint your nails, at least have them fucking. And I called him a bitch.
You
but a
said
nice
if you're
way.
going to paint your nails, you got to do it the full way. And he said, I know. And you said, you look like a bitch. That's what you said.
And I said, "Would you guys already out?" I said, "Do me a favor, bro." I said, "Don't even paint your nails." But you were already outside.
And what did
But he was
say?
nice. He said, whatever."
Right, but so what? So then, isn't that like a fair exchange? Like that's totally fine. He's allowed to paint his nails. You're allowed to say something about it, and then you both go on your way. Totally fine.
And I liked him. He was
right,
very nice.
exactly.
outgoing
And that's
guy.
like
it's all
that's
cool.
what America's all about.
100%. But don't shove it in my fucking face.
I don't know.
Was he shoving it in your face?
No, he was not. He did not. He was cool.
A 250-pound guy with painted nails?
No, I wouldn't want to like hang out with that person. But there are weird people in this country, and weird people should have each
But
other.
I think it's more than just weird. I think now, as we're talking at lunch, a lot of it is just forced on you, and you go ahead and unbelievable this dog.
But this dog is right by the camera. He's gonna
Thanks
knock.
out.
So go on.
So did you see the new Black Mirror?
Which
There's
one?
the one
I watched
with-
the first two.
Okay.
First of all, so far great.
Okay. Did you ever watch Black Mirror?
We're also all over the place, but it's fine.
No, wait. Did you ever watch Black Mirror?
Oh, no, I'm a racist.
No. I'm Black Mirror.
So if anything,
I
you would
agree.
like it more.
No, Black Mirror. We watched the first two.
Make sure you did not.
So Black Mirror. Did you see the one with the psychos in Scotland?
Yes.
Wow.
So don't
Wow.
say-
Wait, I'm not gonna say okay. And
That
did
was
you, and,
episode
wait, and
two,
did you see the one
Lockhead.
with Hate?
And I saw
Jane or Judy Hate.
Jane is
Awful.
Jane is awful.
What? Great concept.
Yep.
Okay. Now,
And it was Netflix making fun of itself, which I love.
1,000%. Okay. But
All for that.
Did you see though the guy in the skirt and all that? Yeah. It's instant. My
but
point
I
is,
think that they were
it's
kind of making fun of
everything.
it. Well, it is everywhere, but that's just the
And
way.
Spider-Man, I went to see last night with Burke.
Okay.
He fell asleep in the theater. Spider-Man, the cartoon, again, it took care of every gender, every wokeism, everything in a cartoon. And again, my point is, live
they
and let.
have to.
No, they don't have. Live and let live, but stop shoving the fucking thing in my face.
So when I
Scott, you agree?
but the thing
I
is, it
agree.
won't get sold.
I
Otherwise.
agree. I actually told you. I think it's grooming.
Explain what you mean by that. to our
I think
listeners.
that it desensitizes everyone, whether it's a kid that's going to a cartoon. It desensitizes them to things that are not
mainstream.
what you would call mainstream or
to
normal.
you guys, right?
no,
No.
to the world. It's
No.
the way it should be.
It's been this way for
But so like
at least a couple of hundred.
Saudi
1,000 years.
Arabia has the completely other culture. China has a completely other culture that you would be like, this isn't normal. at all.
Wait.
But that's mainstream to them.
Watch it. Go get him, Scott.
But like,
Here
but
we
that's
go.
main. But you said to the whole world, it's like that's not true. There are a bunch of different cultures all over the world.
By the way,
China's culture is not mainstream. You would be there and like this. You would be like, everything you guys stand for is not mainstream in China.
Okay.
So
by the way, I will always support my son, Scott, over you. I love him.
No, we're having a conversation.
I know, just hear me out. It's a question of me killing you or killing him. I'm killing you. However, right now,
try.
I can. I'll pull you here. Right now, number 2, let it out, baby.
No, and I agree with you. It's abnormal.
I fucking love it.
You
It's
couldn't
abnormal.
have a society with all of those wokeisms. A society really doesn't work.
Agreed. If it was 100% that, but what if like 10% of the people are just a little kooky and weird? It's
But
like,
how about this?
Is that bad?
But they've
No.
been kooky and weird for 100,000
And we just
years.
said they were weird. That's it, which is okay.
It's
Remember in high
fine.
school, the kid that was weird? He was weird, but not now. Like we said, okay, so I'll give you an example. I always say this. If you're fat, that's okay if you're happy being fat.
Yes.
Don't make me have to make you feel better about yourself. That's what I'm saying.
100%.
You be you.
and I'm on board.
I
with
know
that.
you are. Listen, I know you are, honey. Listen, I'm all in favor. People think that I'm prejudiced, I'm anti this, I'm anti that. No, I'm telling you right now, don't comment on that, Brian. Listen, I'm just saying this.
I'm not saying anything.
The whole purpose of this podcast when we first started and still continues is live and let live. Just don't fucking shove it down my throat and say I have to follow. If you are happy with who you are and it works for you, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I mean,
it's great. But I don't need to make you feel good about yourself just so because you're not depressed. Fuck that.
The
I have a
biggest
problem with
thing that
right?
I'm confused
John,
on it.
you said another word, and that word is prejudice. Prejudice is just a way of thinking. All of a sudden, prejudice becomes equivalent to racism. Look, I'm prejudiced about
Everybody is.
Yeah, using unleaded gas versus gas. In other words, you could do whatever you want, and I'm prejudiced towards that way. Doesn't mean I'm right or wrong.
Right, but shouldn't you try, like, not to completely alleviate the prejudice because that's not reality, but like, shouldn't the goal, right? Your personal goals are in life. You know, why do you work out? To better yourself, right? So shouldn't you always be striving to better yourself?
Yes.
And isn't one of those things is, you know, having less judgment towards people that
No,
you
I
don't know?
like judging people. I have a question though. Is that center leg out far enough or it's too straight?
No, it's fine.
Okay, so I give an example. Here's why everybody's prejudiced.
No, I agree with
If
you.
I'm walking down
Everyone
a
is.
street and I see a 6'5" black guy with dreadlocks or a 6'5" white guy with tatted up all over and fucking big beard, and it's 7 o'clock at night and dusk, and I'm walking the same street towards him on the sidewalk.
So you're
Wait,
saying
wait.
both of those are the same guy. You're
Right.
not saying
No,
one
correct,
or.
right.
Okay.
Or I walk down the street and I see a black guy in just shorts and a Lacoste shirt, or a white guy. in shorts.
Lacoste. No black guys can be
oh
wearing
my
what
God,
Lacoste.
that is so racist.
No, but would you not think about crossing? The
Well, you're
street?
racial. You're profiling,
Would you-
but not
but-
racial. That's class profiling.
No, I think that's just
No, because the Lacoste shirt's
See the
$50.
labels. It's all the labels.
No,
See,
but-
here's what people stop. Here's what people do. It's constant label and constantly subcategories in the label to fit in the narrative.
we have to.
It's a fucking.
You have to
You
give
are either
something a
pregnant
word.
or not pregnant. Am I right? You're
Wait,
either pregnant or not pregnant.
no,
No,
but-
fucking.
but
between.
shouldn't we
You're
give
either
things
liar or not.
words?
Wait, you're either biased or not.
What's your job?
And here's what people
what's
say,
your job?
1 minute. And here's what people say, Scott. They go, but I'm less prejudiced.
What's your job?
I'm less biased.
Well, of course you can be less prejudiced.
No, you can't.
Of course you can.
You either are, you aren't.
I'm still stuck on
Well,
the
there are
unicorn
degrees.
of a black guy wearing a Lacoste shirt.
But that's
There's
class.
always one of the movies with the yachting thing.
That's classism. You're less afraid of someone who's dressed like they have more money than someone who's dressed like they're poor.
No, if someone's bigger and looks dirtier, your instincts kicking your spidey senses.
So now you're talking about size, right? But let's talk about the same guy, 6'5" black dude.
Okay.
One is dressed in an outfit you would wear with like a nice watch.
Well, one guy has his ass showing
right.
and down to his jeans.
Right. You would be more afraid of the guy with the ass down, right? That's
Not afraid. I'm ready to fucking fight.
Right. That's not racial
That's
profiling.
instinct.
It's class profiling.
No, it's instinct.
Based on what?
Because your body knows.
But why?
Because the survival of the fittest.
No, but you weren't born thinking
100%
Wait,
fight or
you-
flight,
you
bro.
weren't-
Right, Scott?
You
Fight
weren't
or
born
flight.
with the instinct of pants down around the butt is dangerous. You weren't born with that.
Okay.
You learned it because more dangerous people do that.
Okay.
Because they're
just
usually
like
poor and
just
gangsters.
like the wildebeest afraid of the fucking lion. That's instinct. This is fucking instinct.
No, but based on what?
Because
Him
it's
being
just
black?
the way. No, meaning if there's someone bigger coming down the fucking street,
We're
they
not
don't-
talking about bigger. I said they're both 6'5".
No, but they don't look the same.
they're both 6'5".
They don't look the same. By the
Right,
way,
so not bigger.
By the
You
way,
said bigger.
No, but I'm gonna tell you the reason why bigger. A wildebeest is much smaller than an elephant, but they don't fear an elephant. The lion is bigger, but they fear the lion. By visual, they know it's instinct. So it's your instinct
Right.
kicking in.
But-
your hair on the back of your neck.
But
stand
you
up.
don't know. But you're using the word instinct wrong.
I'm
Instinct
not.
means you were born with a sense.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
So you were born with the thing up. a black person with the shorts low is dangerous. No, you weren't born with that. A 1-year-old doesn't know. You're taught that because people who wear that type of clothing tend to be more dangerous. That's not instinct. That's your prejudice.
Scott, Adam.
It's not instinct. You don't know what instinct is if you're saying that.
I know. I do know what instinct is.
But do you admit that you're using it wrong? Because that's not.
I'm not
instinct.
using it wrong.
Instinct you're born with 100%. That's a fact. That's what instinct is. So you think you're born with that?
To have instinct.
No, you can have intuitions, but instinct is something that's in
you're
your DNA.
not a mother. You can never have intuition unless you're a mother.
And it really has nothing to do with the black guy. Because
Has nothing to do with the black
it
guy.
could have been
Of
a big
course.
Because if the lights were off, you wouldn't
it could
know,
have-
right?
Right. It could have been a
Right,
a biker.
of course, but that's why I'm saying it's not racial. What you're saying isn't racial; it's classist.
Has nothing to do with racial. It's
Right.
visually. No,
We're agreeing with
I
each
know
other,
we
but
are.
you're
It's
not.
visually looking at somebody. My instincts kick in.
No,
Okay,
you're
let me-
prejudiced.
I have a question though. I have a question for you. When you are in an environment and no one's around,
Okay.
but you're in a place that's like, remember we met Stein, you say red, yellow, and green zone? Remember
Yes.
you said, and I still go by that. I learned a lot from Master Stein with these
That's
things. Okay? And you're walking in there like when I'm in Wynwood
Okay.
at 5 o'clock at night. Big difference when I'm in Wynwood at 12 night. So my instincts kick in and say, have Nell and you in front of me. Watch, see what's going on with the glass windows, make sure whatever. And I have my gun on me and my hand in my pocket.
Okay, that's you being wary.
No,
sure.
but that's your instinct kicking in because it's something that
Right, but when it's a specific person, there's no instinct that humans have that baggy jeans are dangerous. That's what I'm saying. And you said yes, there is, and I'm saying no. That's just not how instinct works.
bad analogy with the dress code. But I'm just telling you, you know that if something
You have an instinct on someone being dangerous.
You know something that's not right.
Yeah, sure.
And therefore, I'm saying you cross the street. That's your instinct.
Right, and I'm saying that usually that instinct of, oh, this is dangerous applies more to poor than to rich. And that's why you said a Lacoste shirt. That's how we got on this. You were like, the black guy in the Lacoste shirt, I wouldn't care. And I would say, yes, exactly, because that's a designer brand. So him wearing a white designer brand makes him less dangerous to you.
And I'll tell you the reason why in that component. This is where it's a society thing. Someone that appears to have money,
right,
has a tendency, right? But listen, has a tendency of not trying to be physical with someone who,
right,
let's say,
exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But on the same token, there is instinct when you look at somebody and you say, my spidey senses are tingling.
Sure.
Or you're in an environment those are instinctive.
Okay, sure.
here's something that would fuck everything up. What if the black guy was wearing a yarmulke?
I would welcome
No,
it.
those are the worst. The black Hebrews and black Israelites.
Would you cross
are
the
worst.
street if the black guy was wearing a yarmulke?
No.
I would because they hate you more. If a black guy's wearing a yarmulke, most likely he's a black Israelite, and they want death to the Jews more than anyone else.
I'd like to fight a motherfucker like that one-on-one and fucking they want to annihilate the Jews.
Right. So don't cross the street. Just
No,
as soon as
I
he
would not
walks
cross the
past you,
street.
kick him in the balls.
I would not cross the street. Right?
So we were in Abercrombie, and there was
you follow me, right? Yeah. See, that's nice, Scott.
We were in Abercrombie, and there was a picture because it's Pride Month, as you all know. There was a picture in the men's section.
Wow.
Because it's a gay picture. There was a picture in the men's section of like it was the models for this season. They just had like a quad of pictures.
And I already bought my clothes, which I'm pissed about.
And so they had 4 pictures in this model thing, and one of them was just like a guy. One of them was
was very transparent gay.
Sure, yeah. Well, yeah, it was supposed to be gay.
I get
It's
it.
literally supposed to be. It said pride underneath it, right? Then one of them was a big black woman, like big black, Lizzo type black woman.
In like the belly showing and shit like that.
Yeah, and like in underwear or something. And then one of them was a close-up shot, like really close, just the cheeks and the lips of 2 men kissing.
Kissing on the lips.
On the lips, correct. And so
Which
you
is
were
a-
like,
wait.
you were like, I might have to return these clothes now.
Okay, let me explain something. So a couple of things. Let's talk about that. If they had a picture of a man and a woman kissing like that, I would find that somewhat a little offensive too, only because it's not appropriate. Let me explain this.
Yes.
Let me explain something. Obviously, the reason why I find it a little more offensive, I'll tell you the reason why. In 1 second, it's a cliffhanger, hold that thought. I don't think it's appropriate for sexuality to be in those kind of forums. You can watch on HBO, you can watch on Skinemax, whatever you want.
And I'm going to ask you why.
Because they also have a kids section, things like that. I just don't think
100%,
it's appropriate to see a man
next
and
to the
woman
kids section.
kissing lips. They can have, if they want to have 2 guys hanging out, holding their arms around, whatever, things like that, to celebrate it. But
Is kissing sexual though? Like just a picture of 2 people kissing?
It's right next
1,000%.
to the boys section.
It was on the boys.
on the boys.
But if it was a man and a woman
I would say
an attractive man and a woman,
inappropriate.
you would still be like, that's grooming?
No, I'm gonna say one is I'm gonna say it's
That's grooming
no.
for sexual behavior
What is the
for
difference?
children?
I'm gonna tell you why it's the grooming component. No, not for man and woman. I'll tell you the man
Yes,
and woman.
it is. It's desensitizing sexualization.
Okay.
So it's not grooming.
It's not
but
appropriate. It's
yes,
not appropriate.
Correct.
So
I think you would have just walked by. You wouldn't have even noticed if it was just a guy and a
hear
girl.
me out for a moment. Hear me out. But then, thank you for bringing me into the next point. You're 100%. I think you're about 99% certain on what you just said. Correct, I should say. But the difference is this.
I'm 100% certain.
It goes back to the fact that it's forcing it on me. Okay.
Yes.
So by the fact that it forces it on me, I hate it. For example, let me just finish for a second.
Yeah, but there's so much there.
No,
because
there is out there, but I'm going to talk about it and then you can
they're
dig
not
deeper.
forcing it on you. No, they're not saying you have to do this.
No. They're shoving it in my face. And if I don't accept it, I'm the outsider.
You don't accept it. Are you an outsider?
Because I don't give a fuck.
Right, but you don't accept
But
it.
99% of people would be like, it's okay.
you just said,
Okay.
you said I. You don't said, you didn't say you. You said if I don't accept it.
Literally, I'm saying meaning as
Right,
a
but do you feel like an
person.
outsider?
No, because I don't give a fuck.
Okay,
But
so
Brian,
then what's the big deal?
If you stop talking, I'll tell you the reason why. Okay? Most people are afraid to speak their mind. I don't give a fuck. So people have to succumb to it because they're afraid of being canceled.
But succumb to what? Like
Me, if they
Succumb
spoke
to
out
seeing
against it. No, if they spoke out that it bothered them, people would be afraid. How many of our listeners say, I say to them all the time, Scott, why do you like our podcast? You know what they say? Because you say what I'm afraid to say. You say what I think and I'm afraid to say it. And they like the fact, so it's an outlet. So here's my point. If someone talks about their dog all the time, I hate their dog. Someone talks about the kid all the time, I hate their kid.
you don't then say this person shouldn't be allowed to talk about their dog. You just say, oh, that's annoying.
Okay, but but listen, I have a right not to be their friend.
But with you, you're
This
like,
is
they shouldn't be
everywhere.
showing it.
Because it's everywhere.
They
It's
should not be
fucking
showing it.
everywhere.
No, and I don't disagree with you. I'm just
you have the black and white couple with an Asian kid. Like stop already. You put the fucking Asian transgender on Sports Illustrated. Stop. It's a fucking joke. You see,
but most people also agree with you.
but they don't say it. That's the
But
problem.
also like the people who do care about that stuff in the positive, right? Who are for that stuff, you don't interact with them.
Okay,
You know,
but,
so who
but
cares?
I don't want to watch a movie that I just want to watch a movie for the movie value, not for the political statement we're thrown in there because I think it's that. I don't want that.
Right, so then don't watch the movie.
Okay, but it's everything. Then I can't watch TV.
Yeah, so then eventually it'll change.
Okay.
Right, like enough people were like, nah, I'm done with this Bud Light thing, and now Bud Light is barely sold. So
fine
it's like
with that.
that'll change. You have to vote
asked
with
me
your vote.
why that bothered me. It
Right.
bothered me because I'm saying to myself, it's inappropriate. First of all, I don't need to see two people kissing. And because I'm not used to it and I don't like it, two men kissing, I think are gross. I'm not, by the way, just let me preface this. I don't care if you're gay. And of course, people should live and let live. And they should be happy.
Right, so
but
there's
visually, because I'm not used to it or I'm comfortable
Right,
with it,
so then
seeing
don't-
two men kiss grosses me out.
But both
Does
of
it
you
gross
use
out?
but both of you use the word desensitizing as a bad thing. That's
It
the case.
is.
But wait, but when you said it's
is.
gross to me because I'm not used to it, that's a point. Like it's not gross to me because it's just whatever. That's a thing where I think desensitizing is positive. That's one of the aspects. There are negative aspects too, but like just two people doing something that doesn't have anything to do with you, and you finding gross that isn't gross because it's the same thing as you and a woman kissing.
Wait, no, it's not. Scott, what you say?
But
It is
why-
not.
but-
It is not.
But you being desensitized to that, why is that bad?
Scott, what
like
do you
the
say?
next
There'd be no
step.
society, right, Scott? What you say?
Well, you wouldn't have a society.
Right,
if
but
there
we're not
was
all
just-
turning gay if there's two pictures of gay people kissing.
Well, Bronson, that was right next to not the men's section,
Front and back.
the boys section, and I'm telling you that is desensitizing young kids
That are
towards
confused.
towards sexualization, any kind, whether it was a man or a woman kissing or two men.
Yeah,
now,
I agree with that.
Now you have to tell that same 7-year-old, you have to explain if they ask that question, why do they have a picture of two men? They don't have their brain wrapped around sexuality yet, but now you forced it on them.
You know
And now
that
you
song-
force it on me as a parent.
You know that song?
Right,
I
and then
saw
there-
mommy kissing Santa Claus.
Yes.
Okay, you think it's okay next year? I saw daddy kissing Santa Claus. You're okay with that?
Well, I mean,
Slippery slope,
if you
right,
were
bro?
but slippery slope to
look how
what?
cute that is.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm really like. Slippery slope to what?
like, oh my God, look how gross. That's a heterosexual couple. That's disgusting.
Well, wait, why is that bad? You just did that.
I didn't say it's disgusting. I'm saying
You literally
because-
okay. So you said it's gross.
No,
gross and disgusting are synonyms.
Because the reality is, like Scott said, there would be no society if everybody was
Of course, but that I don't think. Do you really legitimately think that that's what's on the line?
And
that
by the way-
everyone is
by the
going to
way,
be gay?
let
Do
me
you
step
think
back.
that?
Let me step back. You know I'm dead serious when I say this. I don't care someone's sexuality. That's not the issue here. That has nothing to do with the issue. I don't, and I've grown to be more accepting because obviously I was raised a certain way, and I've grown. So I'm proud.
Right.
to
So,
pat
but
myself
so
on the
then,
back.
do you then think that you thinking what they just do normally is gross, is not bad?
No, because I think just like fucking Snow White should be fucking white. Because and if you want to do
Okay,
something
totally different thing. We're
my
talking-
point is, "Mommy Kissing Santa Claus," that song, that's the song. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, don't change things. If you, I don't know. I don't know. How
No,
to
but
explain
that's
it. You know
but
what I'm
that's
trying to say?
also
But
not
there's-
a way to live.
There's been
That's a
homosexuality
good point,
from the
Bronny.
beginning of time
That's a good
and
point.
things
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
All of a sudden, in the last 2-3 years, maybe 5 years,
Yeah.
it now comes down to they're putting it in your kids' faces.
I'm not for
there's
that. I'm
always
not for
been
that.
homosexuality, great, and I am too. I'm a live and let live guy. I mean, do I want to blow a dude? No. Do I want to get blown by a dude? No.
Yeah, that's how you told me the other day, Scott. Just saying.
Like I said, if you need a ride home,
But you don't care if someone else is doing it.
I don't
care.
care.
Right, of course.
But
And why would you?
But now the fight is I gotta have trans people in front of my kids. I gotta have. In other words, they push it.
And the
on me.
trans
shove it.
and the trans one is a whole different animal. Because
It's a different animal.
So they're animals now.
no, the situation
you
is a
said it.
different
I
animal.
agree with you
No,
on that. But it's,
Like that's a whole
they're
different
going
one.
for the kids, and that is really you got to get to the kids
Because then you can change
before
the whole
you can
culture.
Change the culture.
Yes, totally.
And
Yeah, totally.
you look, you're closer to being a kid than we are, right?
Yeah.
So you knew there were times how confusing things were and life was hard and the pressure.
But then also it's like I grew up where like gay people were on TV. It was like a thing. It
Yeah,
was legal
but
to
here's-
get married. And
but here's what I'm
we
talking
didn't all
But
grow
they
up
weren't
gay.
in your cartoons.
No, here's
when you were
right,
growing up.
Superman.
Yeah, they weren't everywhere.
So
Right.
it's the comic. So here's the thing I want to say also. So, oh wait, I was just going to
But
say
then
something.
should we do it like
Oh, growing up, okay, when we were talking this on the way home in the car. Growing up, there were in high school, there were the athletes, there were the geeks, there were the nerds, there were the gay, there was the goth, there was the drama, there was all different kind of things.
Okay.
There were some kids that just weirdos, and that's just the way it was.
okay,
Okay,
was it
so-
good?
No,
Wait, was it good though?
what was it bad?
No, but
Why was it bad?
for certain people it
So
might have been.
I'm gonna tell you, but listen, but also
You said you literally got called kike. I've never been called kike in my life.
Great, but that
So
is
that's positive.
No, but wait,
that's
no.
positive growth in the world.
No,
I feel
see,
like.
I disagree with you. I'll tell you the reason why. 'Cause
Really,
you're
you think
wrapped-
I should have been called kike?
I listen. I think you're wrapped up in a little plastic bubble, and certainly it's our fault. I'm not going to go into that whole thing again. But the difference was, so when as I got older, I said, I want to become a black belt, so don't call me 'cause this way. The adversity made me stronger. The fact that my father was a hard ass to me financially, it made me stronger. The fact that I grew up in a non-Jewish community made me move to a Jewish community. All those things made me stronger because rather than saying it's, you appreciate certain things, you value it, and you try to change. So I'm glad you didn't grow up that way because I didn't want you to, because I dealt with it. But it
Right,
made
so
me stronger.
my world was better than yours.
No, I don't know if I agree with you.
I didn't feel hatred ever.
Okay, but I don't know if
Isn't that
that's
a good thing?
I don't know if that's such a good thing.
I don't know if that's.
I don't know if
Okay,
that's
yeah,
a
right.
good thing.
That's a different question. Yeah.
Okay, I think the fact that like there's this coddling, which we talk about, this helicoptering parenting, which is all our fault, obviously. But the adversity made me stronger. The independence made me stronger. I could have been one of those kids that became like a fucking pussy and not. And I said, now I'm not going to do that anymore, right? So I worked and did 18 years of martial arts. I worked hard to provide you guys a better life than, let's say, maybe I had.
Yeah, but then in this whole worldview, that was wrong of you. You shouldn't have given us a better life.
No, that's my
It
choice.
made us
But-
weaker.
No,
but that's my choice.
humanity.
That's my choice.
That's humanity. Is you want to do. You want your kids to do better. You want your kids not to suffer.
Right.
Like you suffered. so
And
to
that's
speak.
been happening every single generation since the dawn of time.
Right, but there's a difference. So the men today, which we talk about all the time, the men could fit in their fucking girlfriend jeans. That's a fucking problem.
Yeah, but that's
the men look
that's
like
because
fucking pussies.
That's because the chemicals in the water.
Well, yeah,
It's because
yeah.
the plastic.
But
It's because
you could still. But
it's
when
because
we
of a lot of things.
But when we grew up, Ronnie, the little guy, guess what the little guy was? Napoleon complex. He fucking didn't back down. Remember the little guy?
Right, it's because he's still a testosterone going through his body. No men have
I get it.
testosterone anymore.
But today
Literally,
the
they
fucking guys
don't.
are fucking chicks.
It's because but my generation literally has less testosterone than yours, and the generation below literally has less than us.
No, I think your generation, like my daughter's generation, and raised like pussies.
I think
raised
it's a race thing, and it's also a biological thing.
Our fault, Scott.
A little bit.
No, a lot of our fault. It's 90% our fault.
Yeah.
And we have good kids, but 90%. And we push our kids. Your
Correct.
daughter's an achiever. You know what I'm saying? We push our kids.
Yeah, it's a
like
softer
They're
world.
responsible.
But would you want? Here's the thing: like, it is a softer world, and so at a certain point, you have to just accept that like everything can't be perfect, right? So, would you rather have a softer world or a harder world?
I rather you have,
because you have to have one.
I rather you have.
No, you don't.
What do you have? Would you rather have your children have an easier life than you did, or a harder life?
Easier. However, my children,
and that's going to come with other problems.
Mackenzie has been robbed of what we grew up with, accepting what is norm and not norm. Now it's not even good enough to just accept. You have to prove you're not anti-gay.
Right.
So exception. Right. Okay. So
and then they hate you if you don't.
Which is ridiculous. I agree.
For exception, and I get it. Now everyone is accepted.
Yeah.
But now that's not good enough.
Right.
You got to be anti-racism. You got to be
Scott,
and that's a huge problem. I agree.
But Scott, I have to feel bad because I work 14-hour days and I'm white, and I have a good life and I provide for my kids. I have to feel bad about that.
This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, who will help you with your summer grooming needs. It's getting hot out there.
Which everyone should think about doing. Seriously.
Man and woman.
You owe it to yourself and to your partner.
For real. Like, I know firsthand what it gets like when there's too much hair and there's too much heat and it combines and it doesn't work out. Here's the thing. You can't change the heat, right? You can't tell God to make it colder, but you can change the amount of hair you have with Manscaped products.
And like we're going away out of the country next week for a week, and I'm looking forward to I'm gonna fully clean it, Manscaped.
Oh yeah.
I like the way it feels. I like it.
I feel great after. So if you want to feel great too, you can check out Manscaped products. They got everything you'd need. The lawnmower, lawnmower 4.0, top of the line, state of the art body hair trimmer. I use it on my chest, on my taint. I even started doing the ass. It's so hot I have to get in between my ass crack.
And it's smooth. It's just smooth.
And then for your face, they got the beard hedger, which they have many different cut lengths, more than any other trimmer I've ever experienced. And then they've also got a lot of other products that you guys might not have known about. The ball deodorant, the crop preserver, is low-key the secret one for the summer. You put that down there, it stops you from sweating. It keeps it smelling good, just like armpit deodorant. So you can get all these things and more at manscaped.com. Use the code DaddyIssues20. And because you're a listener of the show, you'll get rewarded with a 20% off your entire order and free shipping. So once again, manscaped.com. Use the code DaddyIssues20 for 20% off and free shipping.
I feel proud of myself. Nell and I, there's not a week that doesn't go by. We have such humility. We're very thankful and blessed for what we earn. We're very thankful for our kids and what we've given them and the life we have. And knock on wood, we're all healthy. Like, that's the main thing. But I'm not going to fucking feel bad and embarrassed because of what I built.
No.
Like, fuck that. Don't you agree? Fuck that.
There is there's a saying that goes something like from sandals to sandals in 3 generations, meaning your father wore sandals.
Yep.
He worked hard. Then he put on shoes.
Yeah.
And then the kids bring it back to sandals.
100%. Right,
and that's where we are now.
But do you think that that's just a thing of this time, or that's just humanity that's always going to happen? That's just the cycles of life.
Humanity, but I think like with the big problem today, with where we are in the sandals, is the problem is the news and social media fuck it up. That's a harder part.
That's a huge
harder part.
Because there's more. There's more influence on it.
Correct.
It's not just the natural cycle anymore.
Correct.
People are influencing the cycle.
Because
big time.
Parents
big time.
are not the only influence. In fact,
Right.
if you're not aware, you could be the least influence.
Yeah, the government's influencing
and
the
that's
media.
The problem.
That is a huge problem. I agree with you.
Huge problem.
No, it's let's just talk about here in Boca. The parents are concerned on Friday night about going out, what wine they're going to order, how many drinks they're going to have before.
Are you spying on us? Good.
And the kids, at the same time, they're watching things that, because mommy and daddy are getting ready to go to, New York Prime.
And
so it becomes the norm.
And the fact that they have the access to the internet, which it's like you have the world out there. There is such
the accessibility
bad shit on the internet that is just available. And so I agree, it's a huge, huge problem that that kids are just being completely influenced by the world at large.
So to get back,
but then what do you do with that?
I don't know what the answer is.
Because
parents
that's
what
okay, but half the fucking world don't even have parents. And by the way, and I don't care you, I still believe that a kid needs to be raised with a household with a man and a woman as a mother and father. Big difference.
Yeah, and here's I agree too. Humans have evolved over not just humans, every animal species, every mammal, let's take, right, has evolved over millions of years to have a female and a male raising a child.
Right.
That's just always the way it's been.
Chimp
So it's
empire.
to change it in 7 years, to go against hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, it's just not, it doesn't really work.
All right, so you're a kid, right? I mean, you're not a kid anymore, but my point is you were, closer to being raised than when Scott and I were. You see that mom and I having a man in the house and a woman in the house, very different. You go to mom for certain things as a woman, and you go to me for certain things as a man.
Yeah.
Right? You also know that we had our roles.
I mean, I agree with you. I think a lot of gay men couples, gay women couples would also agree. They would be like, it's different. It's harder. Like, we wish that, gay women would be like, we wish our son had a father figure around, and gay men would be like, we wish our daughter had
a father figure around.
I think
that was pretty funny, wasn't it? Thank you. That was pretty funny.
But I think that a lot of them would agree too. It's the whole non-binary trans thing. That's where
divorce. It's a bad system.
But that's where it gets problematic. A lot of gay people agree with what you guys are saying. It's the narrative movement.
Look, if my kid came down and said to me, "I am gay," I'd be like,
right, but you've established.
Let me finish. I want to say, I'd be like, okay. If my kid came down with nail polish on, I'd be like, get the fuck up in your room, get that shit off, and we're getting you into therapy. That's what I would do. Right, I'm just being honest. Would you not do that, Scott?
I would want my kid.
Okay, you can't shake your head. You have to verbally, right?
I would want the kid to at least marry another Jew.
Gay. Yes.
Another Jew gay.
Because you know why? You know why?
A J.
No, you know why? Because you didn't have to worry about a blowjob. At least my kid's not sucking cock. But there's a difference. If my kid came down saying, I like boys, it's fine. If my kid came down with a skirt, I'd be like, you ain't wearing that shit.
Right, because that's
parenting.
But that's the influence of other things. Because
Correct.
Just being gay, it's like most of the time, I think people are just born with it, right? And that's just the way, right? Like, I like to kiss girls. Certain people might like to kiss boys. That's fine, right? That's just who you are.
And who cares?
But when it's things that are like, now it's all this stuff that's unnatural.
Right, I'm confused. I'm 12 years old. I don't really know what I want out of life.
And I'm going to chop my dick off.
Baby. Because I'm 12 years old. I don't. Hi, honey. Nelly. What's up? My baby. Me too. My best bud. I know. Mama Nell just came in looking good as ever. See, to me, I don't know, like that or a dude.
Right, that's not a reason to be.
Or all of this.
Right, but that's not what you're attracted to. But a woman would say all of this or look at a woman and be like,
come on. Mama Nell's looking fine, girl.
What we saw in Abercrombie is not norm.
I agree with you.
I agree with you too.
I agree with you.
That's it. And that is
I agree.
That's fairly benign.
Right. It was just kissing. Out there. Yeah, it wasn't drag shows in front of 7-year-olds. I agree.
The drag show thing, I think is fun to go to, but let an adult go to it.
An adult.
Right. Don't do it in a school.
We went to a show later.
They're doing it literally in public schools.
Yeah, I don't agree
for
with
Pride
that.
Month, there are like public schools that are government funded that are doing Pride Month celebrations.
I dressed up as drag. But a kid should not be doing it.
Right.
Period.
It shouldn't be sexualized.
Or like a high school person can do it on their own time, but to have it in the school
here's
makes
what
no
I
sense.
say. Here's what I say. You're 18. You're old enough to go to the army. You don't have to get married. You're old enough to bind yourself in a contract. At that point, then the kid can make his own decisions. Until then, the kid should not be doing that stuff, period. If a 16-year-old's in a bar, if a 16-year-old's in a strip club, it's illegal. So it's okay if a 16-year-old in a strip club is illegal, but a 5-year-old with a transgender vestites is okay. Do you see the difference?
Of course I see.
I'm a parent.
And I see the difference too.
And I'm pretty outgoing, right? I would never take my point. Even your age, I would never go to a strip club with you as your I wouldn't.
Right. That's just a line not crossed.
So why is, if you're a 5-year-old, I want to take you around a transgender?
And not even just that. Like, I'm going to then mutilate your body.
Right, but I'm also not your buddy. I'm not, even though we're close now and it's a different relationship, I'm still your father. I'm not going to a strip club with you.
Yeah.
It's inappropriate.
I wouldn't want to.
John, that's just it. So the parents today that are together, they think they're friends with their kids.
Yes.
So they want to be cool.
We talk about that all the time.
They want to be friends.
Selfies with the picture with red cup drink with their kids.
That's the thing. I mean, so the...
Can you take the dog?
And you got to lock the top lock. He was attacking Scott like Alec.
Yeah, mom saw.
Oh, you saw that. He listens to you well.
It must just maybe he doesn't like gay people.
No, Scott needed a ride home now. He needed a ride home. Lock the top now. Don't. Okay. Go ahead.
All right, and then what was I saying?
I know. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Interesting topic, though.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like different. You can see the generational differences. And
So a parent wants to be cool, doesn't want to go against their kids.
Right. The word no, God forbid no.
Yes. So instead of saying, no, that is inappropriate, or if you really feel that way, we should maybe see a therapist.
Or wait till you're 18.
Yeah. Instead,
when you're on your own.
we're going to go and chop off your dick or chop off your tits. And
right. And you have your whole life to get your dick chopped
right,
off.
but
Just
then,
marry.
With that, then it's like it's not a problem of the children. It's a problem of the parents. It's the
100%.
It's the 30s.
100%.
It's the 30s through 50s that are the ones that are causing the problem, not the 20s and younger.
100%.
Of course, teenagers have always been, a head up in the clouds
or whatever, fucking flakes.
But then older people are like, nope, you're not going to do that. Nope, you're not going to go off to whatever.
I know, but you're going to be that age soon.
Right.
And now it's
up to you.
Right. And then it gets worse and worse and worse
And so that's where society itself fails.
Yeah, but it is failing. We're seeing it failing.
It is.
But then every single society in history has, if it's failed, has self-corrected. Every single one. So we will.
I know.
Well,
I don't know. It's so
ask
bad.
Rome.
Right, but yeah, look, Italy's a country.
Rome
it fell.
the world.
Right, but the Romans didn't all die out. They still survived. The Romans lived on. Rome itself as a concept died. But Romans all had normal lives still, kind
and
of.
It was hundreds
I know,
of
but
years
America-
of hardship.
Yes, it was.
It was
That's true.
literally
It was hardship.
called the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Because of that kind of decadence. Now, that decadence pales in comparison to what we see today.
And Scott, let's go one step
That's
further.
true.
And if we let everybody in illegally, and
that's
just
a
let me
whole
finish.
other-
I know, but if we let we're talking about the Roman era died, and I'm saying the America way, and America will die if we let everybody in from other countries.
Yeah, but you know why Rome succeeded so well?
One minute, I'm not there yet. Okay, we let everybody in. They don't follow rules. There's no laws. There's no consequence for actions. Drugs and all time. I let the fentanyl in. Everybody works from home. Brainwash them on the social media, TikTok, so they can follow you. Whatever they can listen. You got to get these bags now. You talked about these Faro whatever bags. So my
Faraday
point,
cages.
Okay.
Faraday.
So my point is, listen. So therefore, America is no longer America, and I have a problem with that. That will fall.
That's exactly what happened to
see
Rome.
my
Yeah, but
analogy?
also what made Rome the most powerful empire the world had ever seen was that they went into all these different cultures with all these different peoples, all these different languages and skin colors and everything and said, look, we're more powerful than you. So you're part of us now. You can you can come in.
Yes.
You can become Roman. We will accept you. Welcome. We hope you come in.
100%.
If you don't, we'll kill you.
Okay.
So you can go or come in, embrace us, and we'll change a little for you. You change a lot for us.
Big difference.
And that's what made them prosper.
Big difference. The difference is it's not America, what we're based on and what we've been for a couple hundred years saying, come in and follow our way. It's the puppeteers of the government that's all about power and control saying, come in and we're going to control and we're going to change America because we now have strength in numbers that these people are dependent. So they're going to continue to vote for us. And they're fucking idiots. We know most people are fucking idiots. And now we're not making America. We're taking the top royalty.
Well, what is America?
No, but meaning it was based on capitalism. It used to be certain things of people. It was okay where the Italians stayed with the Italians. The Jews, it was okay.
No, that wasn't okay.
It was biblically.
It was okay.
It was founded on biblically based.
People
whether we like
had
it or not.
Okay.
It was founded biblically.
People,
on a biblical concept.
You lived in just like Jews want to live with Jews, like they did in the ghettos and shit like that. Not the ghettos.
Yes,
the
the ghettos, and that's a bad thing.
I don't think so.
The idea of a ghetto is bad.
Excuse me. Let me make this gonna sound wrong, but you know what? All dogs are canines. Fucking Banks ain't fucking a Chihuahua. They're all human beings and all canines. But the reality is,
right? But
Banks knows when he sees another.
But wait, Dad, you're missing. So what it was back then was that if you were Jewish and you were like, I want to live on this street because it's pretty, but the Italians ran that street, they would kill you if you.
I'm
went to live
okay
there.
with that.
You are?
Because the Jews should be with the Jews. I'm okay with that.
You think that?
Listen, I grew up in an area that's predominantly waspy, and I had prejudice against me, and I felt it, and I said, you know what?
That's not live and let live.
Two things. How did they get out of the ghetto?
How did who?
They worked, they got made money.
Anyone that's in a ghetto, how do you get out?
Most of the time, the ghettos fell, right? Or you revolted.
Okay, or you voted a certain way. I can tell you
Most
this.
people who are inside ghettos don't have the power to vote to change what's happening outside the ghetto.
In the
Not
ghetto,
only is that
that song?
incorrect.
What ghetto is?
Not only is that incorrect, but if you
I'm not talking about black the way we use
I'm
ghetto
talking
now.
about
I'm
any
talking about
ghetto.
traditional ghettos.
ghettos,
Where the government would say this is a walled area where only this type of person can
and
live.
people got together, and I will tell you this: first and foremost, they didn't print ballots in 15 languages. So now, if you want to come here and you want to vote in Vietnamese, you can. So once a country doesn't have a culture, it fails to be a country.
I agree.
So that's what
Good
Rome
point.
did. Rome said, "This is our culture, like it or die."
Yeah.
In our case,
And
now,
it flourished, right.
And in our case now, and I literally had grandparents that came through the Statue of Liberty. And,
Correct.
and-
Ellis
and-
Island, right.
And
Same
Ellis
yeah.
Islands.
Yeah.
Just 2 generations ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The difference is
Same
there was
with
no
us.
welfare state. So yes, they got off the boat and they lived in a ghetto until they had to. Until
And they
couldn't
worked.
get
And
out,
there was a
they
strong
worked.
sense of American culture.
Yes. The
That
pride,
everyone said,
the
okay,
pride,
now
work hard.
I will join this. I will wear the blue jeans. I will listen to rock music.
And it was absolutely no safety net.
We don't
so
want-
you had to.
The
That's why
drive,
there
the
was a
hunger, the
ghetto.
fucking drive.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you had to
So
get
I agree.
together.
Scott,
I agree.
When our grandparents, because that's what we're talking about, our grandparents came from European countries and had nothing. They fled and wanted to become part of America because they knew it was better for their families and they could prosper financially. It was all about capitalism.
What about the
and-
people coming now that you say we shouldn't let any of them in?
They want.
You don't think that they feel that same way? That they're like, we want to come
We
here.
didn't come here illegally.
No,
Grandparents
I don't
come here
think they
illegally.
feel that way.
They came here. They come here because they want the freedom. They want entitlement. They want
Yes.
freebies. They want free health care. They want everything. There's a difference. They're not coming here illegal and then they have a fucking kid to go ahead and say they're U.S. citizens.
Well, because they want a better life for
No,
the next
they want.
generation.
They're not. They want
the safety
They want
net.
the system
Yes.
to support them. The Americans want the system to support them. This is what we created. What hunger creates drive. Stress creates drive. It motivates you. When you get comfortable, lazy, and fat, okay, you don't have to fucking. You got that safety net at the bottom. No matter what, I'll be taken care of. That's why they say don't feed the wild animal. He won't be able to go back and feed for himself. It's human nature. It's common sense.
I'm going to put this to you. You're the more liberal of the three of us, maybe. So you have, let's just call it a ghetto. You have blacks in a ghetto, and then you have people that come from Vietnam. They both live in the ghetto. The person from Vietnam, now, our reparations basically have been going on since 1965. We've been throwing money at poor black people. Someone comes from Vietnam, they don't even speak the language. They open up a restaurant or a laundromat. Their kids are in there doing homework.
Their kids are in the nail place. They're
Right.
doing right.
They move out of the
Yeah.
ghetto, yet we still have a complete culture of people that.
Right, and that's a cultural problem.
You said that from day
I've
one.
said that all the time. I've said the reason that black people are in the predicament that they are is that their culture is problematic.
Right.
Yes.
Where other cultures come to this country,
So if they can do
even
it,
like
why can't
Africans, a lot of Africans
Exactly.
come
I'm
into
saying
this.
to be negative.
Like
Right.
it's the American
Haitians?
blacks that are bad.
Right, Haitians are
or
the
like
same thing.
Nigerians come to this country and prosper
Okay.
because their parents are on them and they all become doctors.
The
They all
Haitians,
become
Jamaicans.
The
Right,
Hyatt,
it's
the
it's
Haitians, the Nigerians.
Right, but that's why I'm saying it's a cultural
Correct.
thing, not a skin
They're
thing.
anti-American
But I've said that
black.
forever.
They're
Yeah.
anti-American black.
What do you
Yes.
mean?
The Nigerians, the Haitians, I agree with you. This is,
Well, yeah, like non-American blacks
Right.
come in because they come with a culture and an immigrant mindset of we need to fucking bust our asses. We need to make it, and they're proud of America. They
Okay,
have that same
Bronny,
mindset.
if I
so it's not a
can't-
black person thing. It's a black American
Correct. We're in
cultural
agreement with
problem.
that.
And I've been saying that forever.
I'm in agreement
and that's
with that.
very non-democrat to say and very non-liberal to say. But
I
I
don't-
believe that
and I don't say it as
wholeheartedly.
it's not a prejudice thing. It's just a statement. It's like
And I mean, there are factual components to it. It's just factual that, and I mean, there are problems in every culture, right? There are pros and cons to every culture, but the black American culture has a lot of problems that are keeping it down. And the Democratic Party loves those problems and highlights them and exacerbates them.
They wanna
because
keep them
then
down.
they get extra voters, they get extra
Yeah,
money,
yeah, they wanna
get
vote 'em
extra
down,
power.
right.
Of
Yep.
course, they love keeping black people in a
absolutely.
subservient state. It's almost like modern slavery. They love keeping them as suckling on the teat of the Democratic Party because then it allows them to stay in power,
Correct.
which allows them to spend money on wars
dependent.
and line
It's
their pockets.
It's all about dependency
Right,
and
of
their
course.
financial gain and power.
But you want to get back to even the Abercrombie thing. So if
And let's talk about Starbucks.
No, the people that run let's just say the Democrat Party that keep those people. More and more people under Trump, let's just say, they came out and voted because they realized, oh my God, I've been on a plantation basically. So what do they do? What does any good socialist do? They drive a wedge. That's why you're seeing a lot of gay. So
totally, I agree.
They could, because in reality, the black family, the families that are together, are pretty conservative.
Yeah.
They don't want a trans person running around their church or.
Oh no, they're very traditional.
But if you could triangulate, well, they're anti-black. They must be anti-gay, and then they must be
because that's easy to just put.
Well,
the
there's
shame
also
and blame.
there's power.
So the conclusion statement just putting blame is easy because then you don't have to reflect on yourself.
But there's power in independence, right? Like if you're an independent family, you make your own money, you're strong with your family unit. You don't need the government. You don't care about them. So there's power in that, and the government doesn't want you to have your own individual power. So if they can break that shit up, right? If they can make you so that you don't have your own own money,
that's why you
don't. Right?
You do that.
Then you
take
don't
your
have
freedoms,
power.
take your money, lock your account out, no due process, take
or
your
not even
guns
that.
away.
They just undermine the culture, so they make it so that the black kids
indict somebody that shouldn't be indicted. I'm saying that's what happens, right? That's what they do.
Have you ever looked at the BLM website?
It never went to any black people either.
Okay, you've been on that. Mm-hmm. You know that it's changed from the beginning. The BLM website, their thing was about strong black men, for the most part, and strong black families. Go on it now, and you'll see that they talk about, which is why they're bankrupt. But how they talk
the
about
bank because she stole all the fucking money, never gave it to. That's
why aren't people giving them more money now? Go look at the website, and it'll tell you that they're also very involved with the trans movement.
Yeah.
And guess who's not? Blacks.
Right. Especially black men.
Right. And so black said, we're done here.
Yeah.
You've served your purpose. We're out. And yes, they
didn't serve the purpose.
The black community is way more homophobic than the white community.
100%.
Way more.
And so, like I said, I challenge even your listeners or whatever. Go to the BLM national website.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. But the Dems they need the black votes.
Yes.
They need them,
and they want the gay. So they'll have you believing. They still have you believing that 10% of the population is gay. Okay, you're telling me there's 32 million gay people?
Well, now they say 1 in 4 Gen Zers, which is like Burke's generation.
Okay, so that's 25%.
1 in 4 identifies as LGBT.
Okay. So
or non-binary.
Are you telling me 100 million Americans?
Yeah, there's just no way it's true. Or it's true for what they say because they're captured. It's not true for actually the fact of what they are.
Fake news.
No, but it's
huge.
all
It's going to be huge.
It's all being
back
reported.
To the BLM thing. Look, she did steal all the money.
And what happened or nothing?
But they could have still been getting that grift if they didn't go. In other words, how would you know? You wouldn't know. They would just be continuing to fill those coffers. But now that they embraced.
But the thing is, they probably had to embrace that stuff because otherwise then they would have been demonized and villainized. Because why aren't you guys you guys are for black people? What about black trans people?
100%.
How dare you not be for black trans people? All 7 of them.
Right, let's go label. Subcategory, subcategory.
But it's the intersectionality. The subcategories are what they thrive on.
Yes,
because if you're the minority of the minorities, then you're the poster child,
Meanwhile, Jews are the biggest minority of all of them. We're what, 18?
I would say,
there are less Jews than LGBT.
Jews are less than, there's certainly less than
18 million Jews, dude.
Of the population.
That's a minority by definition.
Jews are less. There are less Jews than there are LGBT. So we're definitely a minority for that.
100%.
All right, go to a Reformed temple. The guy's wearing a rainbow tallis. For fuck's
like
sake.
if you're a fucking transgender,
I think a huge problem is that ideology coming into all the traditional religions because it's undermining every single aspect of society and certain aspects, right? Like religion, has been so important in society for thousands and thousands of years. That's what societies are built on, that there's value and it's proven its value, right? Because look at the societies that were built based on religious values. They're the societies that rule the world. So it's proven that it's strong.
Yes.
And then now these new ideologies are coming and undermining it. And it's like, what's going to be built on top of those ideologies?
I mean, where they get
we don't know
advice from everybody, these podcasts?
Could be.
Listen, but here's the thing, Bronny. If you have a transgender black Jew, fucking hat trick.
Oh my
That's
God!
like that. He's a fuck.
Not just
but not
president.
Jew.
of the
They don't.
United
They don't like
States,
the
Jews.
Messiah.
They don't
king
like
of
Jews.
the world.
Yeah, Messiah.
They don't like Jews.
I'm just saying,
And
I'm
he-
making a joke.
Right, but I'm saying, but American society doesn't like Jews.
We know that most people don't like Jews, period.
I mean, could you blame him though?
No, seriously. Let us keep our faith going. All right, let's talk about Starbucks.
So, Scott, you can fill us in because I don't know much. I just wanted to talk
that
about
was
it.
50 fucking minutes, and
Yeah.
that's crazy. We didn't get to a topic
Nope.
again.
Nope.
Okay.
But it's Pride Month, and this was a Pride episode.
Oh well, this
By the
goes
way-
into it. The Starbucks thing is a serious thing.
The Starbucks thing has to kind of do with this.
And
a
let me
bit.
tell you, that came out this week. And what was
Yes.
also supposed to come out this week was the Supreme Court ruling on affirmative action. And
Interesting, but you can't
that-
say you got to talk about that
hold
now.
on.
You can't just throw it
That
out
is
there.
probably, well, if they would have came out on the same day, literally the country would burn. But what happened in Starbucks, you had a lady that was a manager of Starbucks who was not working that day, was not at the store.
White or
white
black?
woman.
Okay.
White woman. Two black men apparently.
And this happened a while back,
That
right?
happened
Yes.
2 years ago,
Yeah.
3 years ago. Two black men were in the Starbucks using the bathroom, sitting using the internet, and the person who was on duty there said, look, you got to buy something to have me. And they said, no, we don't. They started a big thing. And the person that was on duty at Starbucks called the police. The police came and arrested the two black guys for
You know, I got to tell you,
Like a
let me
vagrancy.
just interrupt for a second. They can say you're trespassing, get out. You don't have to have them there in a
Okay,
retail
so
store. They could say that.
that's what they
And
did.
that's what they did, right?
That's exactly
They're
what
allowed
they
to. You could, you could fire that employee if you don't agree as the manager.
So
Okay,
you got to
so-
hear what happened.
So people went crazy. Starbucks yielded to that, closed all of their Starbucks for a day so that their employees, all of their employees, can go to sensitivity
Oh,
training.
I would quit.
Okay. Now,
I'd sue, actually.
that's the next day. The day after that, they fire the manager of that store, who's a white woman who wasn't there, did not call the police. And she said, look, you're firing me as a sacrificial lamb. They looked at her and said, it
You're
is what
white.
it is.
You're a woman.
Well,
you're
she-
white.
as a lamb, literally white. And
So
As black
she
sheep.
sued, and she just got granted for it was a racial discrimination suit.
yeah,
against
she sued
whites
Starbucks.
I love it.
and won $26 million.
Oh,
So the
I
courts
love it.
awarded her the money, saying Starbucks fired her
Great.
based on
Those
race, and that
lawyers-
was wrong.
I love it.
But like that's a huge.
Yeah,
that's
I didn't
like
see it. Where's it on the news?
Well, yeah,
I
people-
don't watch news.
A lot of people aren't talking about it on the news, but it's out there. Like the news,
That's
people are reporting
great.
on it.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, the courts were like, "Yep, Starbucks made a racially charged decision,
Good.
and it was discriminating this woman because she was white."
How
Which is
great
interesting.
is that?
Usually, it's the other way around.
How great is that?
And so
Now-
that's one of the first things I've seen where it was like a white discrimination that's being talked about. Like people are.
And now on Friday, what was really supposed to come out, probably will come out on Tuesday, is the Supreme Court's affirmative action. And when
So
that
talk
comes
about
out,
that.
and the two things happen, I'm sure that you'll see the regular rabble rousers.
Well, we're going to summer. Summer is the prime time for rioting.
It is
They,
As
won't,
riot
we've
they
season.
seen.
won't riot here.
It's riot season.
It is
It's
riot,
riot
season.
season. Yeah.
as we've seen.
And that's what's that's
Talk
what's
about the
gonna
affirmative action thing, Scott. You got
Yeah. So what do you mean? Like the Supreme Court is going to remove affirmative action?
Yes, they're probably going to remove.
Okay, do you remember
everyone.
Bronson? There were two Asian kids. I think this was over getting into a college. They didn't get in because they had the grades.
One of them had a 1580 on their SATs and applied at Harvard, and Harvard said no. And at that same class that was going in, they were having other minorities, which the Vietnamese person is a minority, but they had black,
Not at
darker
Harvard.
skin.
But colleges don't view Asians as a minority. They view them as even worse than whites because they're so inundated.
Yes.
So this guy and another person sued.
How
And
great is
finally,
that?
it came
Right,
to the Supreme Court.
but your mind. But
Wait.
if you're Harvard and you're a private company, aren't you allowed to have whoever you want come? Shouldn't you be?
I don't know how that works because they might get federal.
Well, the
grants
affirmative
too.
action is where
if
it's a problem.
If they get federal grants,
Right,
then you
they
stop
get
with certain
federal-
things.
they
Right,
get
but
federal
I'm talking
money.
about just the idea of being Harvard.
Okay, so
Should be
If
allowed.
it's a true,
if-
wait,
if
wait,
they-
Ronnie. If it's a private institution, you don't get any federal government money. Different story. But if you get federal government,
well,
whatever,
Harvard we know is a private college. I mean,
No, but
they
they-
might get government.
but
they do get
subsidies.
They do
I'm
get
sure.
government.
And that's
Yes,
why there's-
that's where the
that-
lawsuit was.
that's where the lawsuit
Right, and
is.
I agree with that. Don't give my fucking money for that.
No, I mean, you're talking about something that has several $1 billion in endowment.
Endowments, correct.
Billions, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're saying, then let's just go back again to the ghetto. Why then are we not? What is it? 60 years since 1965, almost 60 years. Are we not progressed that now blacks can, so to speak, fight on the same level because of the opportunities they were afforded?
Can do anything.
Right. So why are we not more of a meritocracy? And that's what the Asian.
Well, because they don't want a meritocracy. Because then it won't be fair.
So
correct.
now,
so that's the dumb down theory.
I mean, it will be fair.
Okay.
It will be fair.
It will be literally fair, but it won't feel fair. It's like how
rise to the top.
When the iPhone, when the Apple first introduced the shuffle button, right? Like how you can shuffle your songs and it gives them randomly. When they first did it, they did it completely random, right? They made the algorithm completely random, and people started getting similar order of their songs just by sheer coincidence, right? Because if you do it random, eventually, you're going to get multiple songs in a row, and you're going to be like, wait, that wasn't random. That's how my playlist was. And so people complained this isn't random. So they went back into the algorithm and made it where it wasn't as random so that songs didn't happen in the same order. So, right, they de-randomized it to make it seem more random, and then people were, happier with that. And it's the same kind of idea. The idea of actual, right, they don't want actual fairness.
No.
Because actual meritocracy will showcase
the way it should be.
Not the way it should be. It'll showcase. It'll highlight problems.
No, but somebody will be smarter,
right?
And somebody won't be.
But
Somebody will be a doctor, somebody a painter.
But that'll prove. I mean, not prove, but they don't want to see the results of that because that can affirm racism. It can affirm sexism, right? Because if men all rise to the top or all white people rise to the top, then that affirms
just like
racism.
Bigger people are better as athletes,
right? But they don't want that.
Even if you were a black person. In other words, you fought hard and you got into Harvard or you became a pilot. When the people walk onto your plane, you fought hard for that. Do you want them to say, that guy's only a pilot because
he's black?
Of course not. But the high achieving black people aren't for
so
affirmative action. It's the low achievers
correct,
that want to pull down the high achievers towards them.
You want the better lawyer or the worse lawyer?
Right. No.
Not you want the one that got there in the merits.
Right, but that black guy who went to Harvard definitely isn't for affirmative action. He probably is like, God damn, this is so fucking unfair.
I agree.
Right.
100%.
It's the bottom of the barrel that supports bringing the top of the barrel down to the bottom.
Yes, I call it the dumb down theory.
So when you make things equal, you are always bringing something down. You're never bringing something up.
Correct. You can't bring something up. That's not how equal works, right?
If everybody got a D, but you wanted to get better rating for your school, so that makes it a B, you bring the curve up. It's a disservice because that D student that's now a B won't be able to compete against everybody else in society. Won't be able to handle it.
Of course.
I'm telling you, also as the father of a scholarship athlete,
yep.
There are plenty of girls that now do not get the scholarship for athletics because they're competing against a biological boy.
Yeah, well, that's
a whole story.
Yeah, but I'm on board with you.
Right, but and so
I think everybody is.
Affirmative action is the same thing. You're taking someone's place.
Right, that should be there.
And on top of it all, you got the super liberals that even make believe they're Indians or say that they've been black
just to get in.
And it turns out they're not. They're not even, and so they're taking the space away from someone who earned it.
Well, that's what this lawsuit with the affirmative action is, right?
So the Supreme Court it's seeming likely like they're going to
from the questioning, because I've been following that, because it's not just Harvard, it's actually Burke School,
USC,
that is involved in that.
USC
lawsuit.
is all Asian.
Yes, and so it's both of those schools. From the questions from the bench, it seems like they're going to.
That'll be a huge problem.
No, I don't think it's a problem. No. It's a great thing.
That's not what I mean. I mean, it'll be a problem in the society because people will not like it.
Yes.
And they'll take to the streets and they'll complain.
Which is a problem.
That's what I'm saying.
So here's the thing. But if we lost and they say affirmative action stays.
That's not us losing.
Wait. No. Are we taken to the streets?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Put it, and here's this. Look what happened after Roe v. Wade was overturned. They're still threatening to kidnap and kill Supreme Court justices.
Could you imagine?
how many there? So how many people? Let's just go out on a limb and say 1 million people a year get an abortion. Do you know how many people are going to be affected by affirmative action reversal? Tens of millions, maybe 100 million. So you can imagine, yes, they're going to be in the streets.
I just got more ammo. I did in the garage.
I mean, it's just a ridiculous thing to say.
Well, you have the battleship gray car.
So that works, right?
So what? You want to shoot them all down?
No, I'm saying if they come to riot in our house.
Yeah, they're going to come riot at this house for sure.
There's plenty of riots in Boca.
He takes everything so.
No, but you say things like that's such a ridiculous thing to say.
Fun with it.
I would put a turret, a gun turret, on the top of the Bentley.
What do you mean? What do you mean? No, on the
roof. And it only does like it has a melanin counter, so it only can see. And it'll show below a certain skin color.
Light skin,
right? It'll let a light skinned person through, but below a certain skin color.
You got to cut them in half.
Okay,
he muted us.
Okay, all right. Let's do a fatherly advice. Do you have one up?
I mean, I can get one.
Get one up. Scotty, pleasure having you on, buddy.
Good to be here.
Good, really, real pleasure having you on, buddy. You know what our fatherly advice is? We get listeners that will write into us and ask us opinions. They want to hear either my opinion and or Bronson's, depending on the situation.
Oh, this is a good one.
We do a little like a Dear Abby.
Well, because it's Father's Day, which we didn't really talk anything about.
No, but on the end, I wish everybody a happy Father's Day.
This is like a Father's Day related one. This is from Jordan. It says, "I'm 21 years old, is a guy, and my girlfriend is 19. We have a 2-year-old son, and my dream was always to be a father. My dad was not in the picture most of my life, and when he was, it was never good times. During my entire high school career, I worked for him in his lawn care business, and by the end of high school, we got into a big fight. He was the one in control of my money the whole time, and by the end of it, all I got was $500.
That's weird.
His parents that I'm close with saw no problem with that, and my mom's side saw all the problems with it. I want nothing to do with him, and I want him not to be a part of my son's life either. I later found out that he had some criminal issues with the minor, but something happened in the case and it fell through. I visit his parents here and there, but it seems like that he's always there when we visit. He never acknowledges my son at all, and I guess I like it better that way, but if it was my choice, he wouldn't be around my son at all. He's been recently trying to get back into my life and being friendly, but I could not care less at this point. Just wanted your thoughts on how I should handle it."
Okay, very interesting, Jordan. That's Bronny, you can go first.
I mean, just don't have if you don't want him in your, right, he's not important to you, your dad, right? So then just don't have him around your son. What do you, like, I don't understand what the big deal is.
Because it's still his father.
But he doesn't like his father. He said.
I understand, but
he has no allegiance to his father. He never got along with him. So, like, why do you hang around with him?
All right, so you just black and white cut it off, right?
Yeah, if you don't want your father involved in your son's life, then don't involve your father in your son's life.
You don't think that no matter what, like if your father was a rapist or whatever, or in jail, you don't think that a child should have a relationship with their father?
If my father was a rapist and I never got along with him, and he was literally, right, like you said, then no, I would not bring my kid around him. If I never got along with him, why would I ever bring my kid around him?
Maybe the father is flawed and has his issues, but it's still your father and gave life to you and he employed you and this and that. And you could have went and got a different job somewhere elsewhere and you could have been in control of your own money. You got your mom handle it because your mom's against what the father did. But he did. He paid for education. What did we did? He put food on the table.
How do you know this?
Wait,
how do you know any of this?
He works with his dad, he said. He obviously was raised by his mother and father. The father put a roof over his head. So I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate. So you're saying, despite all that, there's 3 sides to every story, right? We know it's not just the father's doing. But despite all that, you think the kid should just write the father off?
I think if the kid doesn't want the father around, then yes.
It's not a friend.
Right.
It's the father.
Yeah.
So it was good enough for the father to raise him, to provide a roof over his head when the kid would, and now all of a sudden just because the kid doesn't like
I don't
him,
think
I'm just asking.
But I'm not, yeah, and I'm not saying he should pretend like his father doesn't exist and die. But if he's saying he's uncomfortable being around his father and his son being around his grandfather, then don't do it. Like, I don't think there's any allegiance. It's not like he said, my father gave me a good life, all this stuff. He never got along with him, right? He said, my dad was not in the picture most of my life, and when he was, it was not good times.
Okay.
No, but
I'm just playing devil's advocate like you do in me.
You don't know what good times. So
just we don't know facts.
But we got to go. We're going from his point of view.
His point of view. I'll ask you the same thing because I know my father was the same way. Was your father a better? you have a different. Was your father a better grandfather than a father? My father was a better grandfather than a father. And so I had a horrific growing up. However, when my father came back into my life more friendly because I had a kid, and he realized he was a great grandfather to Mackenzie.
Right. And so he was flawed, but he knew
I don't even know that
But
he
this
realized
kid
how
Jordan
flawed.
said when I do go visit his
Right.
parents, he doesn't even give any attention to my child.
Well, he's saying that my father now is trying to be friendly.
Good point.
So if that's the case, first of all, if you already hate your father, so to speak, you're never going to give him the benefit of the doubt. However, to rob the kid of a potential relationship with the grandfather, I'm telling you, my father was horrific. To see my daughter with him when my daughter was younger was something else.
Yeah, no, that's a
good point.
Great point. So what do you think this
Here's
guy
my
should
thoughts.
do?
Wait, I didn't give my opinion. So I think that Jordan.
First of all, he's not married, right?
No, the father's not.
No.
No, he said no.
Right.
Jordan isn't. He said
Jordan
my
is?
girlfriend.
Right.
Oh.
Me and my girlfriend.
So what I'm saying also is this kid is now bringing another life in. That kid, it's not a girlfriend. You don't know if it's a long-term relationship. What if that kid turns out, the mother goes off or marries someone else, and then that kid says, "Oh, I don't even know my father. My father just..." So yeah, you got to put that into context.
So so here's my thought. It's a tough call because as men, you're a lot like me, Bronny. We can actually write people off and be more okay with it. However, doesn't mean we don't wish it was different, right? If we all wish we lived in that kind of life, was a white picket fence and everybody got along, but that's just not the reality. I think, and this is probably me being a parent now and also being married to your mom who's helped me grow in certain things, I think it's better to give the person the benefit of the doubt. And if you're happy and you know your dad and you have a child, you just make a conscious effort to not do what your dad did that you didn't like, and also to protect your child. So if the father is being abusive to the grandchild, then you stay away.
100%.
Right. If the father, you just don't like your father because he might have been an asshole, I'm sure he did some good things to him. And by the way, Jordan, you're 21.
fair.
Just tell me, you're 21, Jordan. You're still a baby. I don't mean to sound like a dick, but you still don't have enough life experience, and you have and so you got to wait to when you're older, and you will start seeing things that you might have disliked about your parents. But as you get older, you might realize, I get it.
That's true. He might just have been an angsty teen, and
Right.
his dad was like,
we don't know.
They just didn't
So
get along. But that could have still been a good dad.
I
That's
think
true.
as a father, you protect your child, but don't let your biasisms, if that's even a word, and your dislike of your dad trickle down to your child. He should be able to make his own decision when he's older and see if he wants to have a relationship when he's older. In the meantime, as long as he's not harming your child or acting inappropriate to your child, and you're around your grandparents, his parents, which you seem to get along with what you said, try it, bite your lip, be the better man.
Yeah,
and if you still can't be around him because it's just so hard for you, then you're going to have to do what's best for you. But
But
at the same token, the hard things that you push through and you persevere through make you a better person, make you grow, and you can instill that and show your child that. So I think that's an important thing. And then one day you don't want your kid saying to you, did I have a grandpa? Well, I didn't like him, so I never knew my grandpa. You stole that right for that kid to have the relationship with him. So I think if he's not harming your grandchild or being inappropriate, bite your fucking lip for a limited time, suck it up, be a fucking man, and go from there. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree with you.
100%. You can't. I watch Mackenzie and my father, and I wouldn't have want to rob Mackenzie of that.
It's no different than the divorced couples that the one spouse poisons the child over the other spouse. That's a disservice
To the kid.
1,000% disservice to the kid, and it happens all the time. It's because we're human beings. We get hurt, and we're humans, and it trickles down to our children. And I get it. It's not a judgment call. It's just the way we are, right? You hate someone, your kids hate that person.
But people can have different relationships. Like you had a different relationship with your father than your daughter had with him.
And Bronson,
had different relationships.
so we have a very close-knit family. I had a lot of issues with my father growing up, and you hear me talk very differently about him now as an adult.
Right, but
In a positive way.
yeah, but that's now. When you were 30,
Right. So
you literally left.
I moved. Right.
You left because you were like, I don't want to do
right.
any of this.
But
and so you removed us. From, my cousins
But
all grew up going there every weekend.
I never kept you from them though.
No, but our relationship was strained because your relationship was strained. 100%.
But there's a difference. I left because I knew how to provide for myself, and in order to do that, it's a little bit different than him just going to his grandparents periodically. He's not saying he's involved all the time. He's saying he doesn't like him, therefore he's keeping his going. If there was a time I didn't get along with my parents for a particular reason, I never kept you from them.
No, that's true.
So that's my advice. And you try it, Jordan. And if you still can't,
like a relationship with bumpers on, like just keep control of the relationship. Make sure it's not.
Make sure your kid's
bad.
protected.
Yeah.
Suck it up. You're now a father yourself. Bite your lip. You can handle be a man.
Otherwise, Jordan, your kid could end up on an Abercrombie and Fitch.
No. Or Jordan, your kid can say, I don't like my dad. Hear me out.
Right.
And being you.
Yes.
And then it says, well, you did it with your dad.
Yes.
I'm not talking to you. What kind of role model were you?
100%.
If you didn't talk to my grandpa, why the fuck didn't you talk to you if I don't like you?
That's a great point.
And the other thing is, and I got to tell you this, every child, there's things that children as they don't like what their parents do, and they can do the same thing to kids. It's just what it is. We are human beings. We're not perfect. We do the best we can, and you have to love us, the good and the bad. That's what love is. Loving someone only in the good times or being friends with somebody only in the good times is nothing complicated.
Yeah, you have to accept them for their
That's easy to do.
problems. Yeah.
And it's those tough times in life, which we talked about to come full circle, the adversity in life, the tough times, that makes you strong and makes you appreciate the good times and who you have, the foundation you have. So Scott, you and I are best friends. If we're only best friends in only good times, and
then you're not really friends.
What kind of friendship is that?
Yeah,
it's the
100%.
tough times and the deep conversations, shit like that. When I went through my tough times, you went through your tough times, and we're there for each other. It's those times that brought us closer, and the bonding, because we know that we're there for one another through thick and thin. That's what a relationship's all about.
Yeah.
All right. So on that note, to all you people of fathers,
Happy Father's Day, Jordan, too, by the way.
right? Yes. To all those who have fathers, and to those who are fathers, have a great Father's Day. Enjoy your day. Well, I'm sorry. By the time this comes out, I hope you had a great Father's Day, and yeah, just enjoy it, man. Appreciate what you have and be thankful that you have a father, because some people don't. Like, I don't anymore.
Can I just add one thing?
You don't anymore, Scott.
No, I don't.
Right.
But if I could speak very crudely, and nothing against gays, but
Here comes
if
Scott.
your father didn't fuck your mother,
You wouldn't be around.
you wouldn't be here. If your father fucked your Uncle Tony, you wouldn't be here.
On that note, we love you guys. We're out. Bronny, love you. Scotty boy, love you, brother. You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.